Artists and performers from all across the world will be traveling to Oklahoma City over the next several weeks. Musicians and dancers from New York, Russia, and Great Britain will be headlining various shows at the Armstrong Auditorium beginning this week. Joining me now for more information on the upcoming performances are Ryan Malone, Armstrong Auditorium Concert Manager, and Shane Granger, Armstrong Auditorium Marketing Director. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you're in the mid-season right now of the 2014-2015 season, and you've got some pretty exciting performances coming up. Let's talk about the King's Singers first.
Right, we have in February 24th, the world-acclaimed vocal ensemble, 6 Brits. The King's Singers are coming to Armstrong Auditorium, and this will be the first time they've sung in that space, so we're very excited to have them there. And they're going to be doing selections from their Great American Songbook album, which is very popular right now. It's just from the heart of the American the swing era, that type of thing. Cole Porter, Frank Sinatra, that type of thing. So that's going to be a really exciting event to have in the Armstrong Auditorium, which is an acoustic space, and this is an unaccompanied vocal ensemble. So you're just going to hear these voices blending right there in this impeccable acoustic.
Yeah, these guys are really well known for just their beautiful intonation and how well they blend, but they're also known for their British wit. And I mean, they're singing incredible music, but then they'll just crack you up right in the middle of it and add a little, personality to it, which I just think is amazing.
So, yeah, so much personality, so much entertainment value in seeing them, and how funny they are, and how just entertaining they are. I mean, you can spot some of that online if you see some of their work, and then also just truly amazing singers. So it's great that they have both of those elements that they blend so beautifully.
And Shane, it's a perfect venue, it would seem, for this type of an a cappella group, the sort of intimacy of the theater. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, sure. The Armstrong Auditorium is an amazing acoustic space. The acoustics are world class. The intimacy factor is one of the highest that we've seen of theaters across North America, certainly. It's 9 milliseconds, which means the time that the sound leaves the stage is reflected off of one of the surfaces and reaches the listener's ear. It's just 9 milliseconds. The smaller that gap, which that is very, very small, the more intimate the sound is. And so you have the sense as you're sitting in your seats that the performers are just right there with you, or it's not like they're way off in the distance somewhere and you're sort of listening to them way down there on the stage. And then the sight lines are also fantastic as well. The theater has a balcony. It seats 823 people. With a balcony, so the back wall is only 75 feet from the stage, and so all the seats are great for sight lines as well, and then again that wonderful acoustic. So it's definitely a wonderful space to enjoy something like the King's Singers.
And the tickets start at $31 for this one. I think it would be a wonderful Valentine's present for your special someone.
Well, and to tell you the truth, the other thing is that the King's Singers love kids. They always throw in a few songs for the kids. There's something there for everybody in the family. So certainly a family-friendly event and something to take advantage of.
All right. Well, just before that, January 26th and 27th, you have the Russian Ballet coming back for their 3rd performance. That's exciting.
Yeah, and think about that acoustic, that intimate space that you're talking about, and imagine seeing the great Russian ballet tradition that close in that intimate of an environment. The Russian National Ballet Theater coming on January 26th and 27th, like you said, at Armstrong for 2 nights. They're performing Tchaikovsky's beloved, the consummate ballet of all time. Everyone thinks about when they think of ballet, Swan Lake, right? So Swan Lake is going to be performed 2 nights. So there'll be opportunities there to see that. And again, like he said, with just such an intimate space and being so close to the performers, it really is. You haven't seen ballet till you see it at Armstrong, I say, because of that intimacy that you have there in the room.
One other interesting thing about the Russian National Ballet Theater is that this is a theater company or ballet company that came out of the former Soviet Union, and during the 1980s, during the period of perestroika, they were able to make the transition from the Soviet era into the new Russian Federation era. And a lot of the dancers and choreographers came from the original Bolshoi theater that was there, very famous in Russia. And so they've been able to bring that, that tradition through to a new generation of dancers. But what's amazing is when they travel, they still use a lot of the sets and even a few of the original costumes from the Bolshoi era. So and we asked them, we said, well, why do you do that? I mean, it's awesome that they have it, but why? And they answered and said, well, it's a lost art. These types of sets are just not made anymore, and we value them so highly that we just really keep them, as pristine as we possibly can. But we bring them and use them. So I think that's another interesting part about this particular company,
right,
is that you're seeing. You're seeing a ballet that was written by, composed by a Russian, Tchaikovsky, choreographed by the greatest Russian choreographer, Petipa. It's danced by Russian dancers, and then even the costumes and the sets are from the original tradition. So, I mean, you're seeing the real, genuine, classical Russian ballet as it was meant to be on stage, and I think that's what sets this apart from other companies.
Yeah, what an amazing taste of Russian history all
put
together in one building. That'll be great. Well, coming up this week on Thursday, you have the Julliard String Quartet.
Yes, the Julliard String Quartet is one of the most recorded chamber music ensembles out there right now. Of course, they represent America's foremost conservatory, Julliard. They originated in 1946, so this is an organization that's been around almost 70 years now. So they've won several Grammys. They were the first classical music organization to be given a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Grammys. So this is really our great American export in terms of classical chamber music, and so it really has a relevant feel. It has a real fresh feel. They always try to do everything that they do in they say they try to do old masterpieces like their new their new works, and they try to do new works like their old masterpieces. So they really have an approach to music, I think, that's going to be accessible and really just really stimulating for the audience. And then, of course, thinking about these four musicians there on that intimate stage at Armstrong. Again, you're going to have this really intimate, like you have these musicians in your living room when you come see them Thursday night.
It's that a cappella feeling again with
right,
just the instruments rather than voices.
Right.
Right. So. Bringing some amazing culture
yeah,
to Edmond, Oklahoma.
That's right.
That's right.
So you got to get your tickets and come see us.
Absolutely. Sounds like you guys have a great season planned.
Thanks.
Thanks for sharing it with us.
We're looking forward to it. Thank you. Appreciate you having us today.